Hello and welcome to InVision Irving, your business connection. We're inside the headquarters of the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce and have a lot to show you today, including our special focus, a high-scoring city. We examine the economic impact of all of the sporting events in Irving. And we learn about an organization helping people develop job skills while providing a valuable service. Plus, how the ice people are buying in stores around the country is tied to Irving. All that coming up. We begin in Heritage Crossing. Renovations are complete now at Comerica Bank. With the dust settled, I paid a visit to get a look at what's new.
After more than 20 years here on West Irving Boulevard, this Comerica Bank building was due for a facelift. And now it's ready for its close-up. 3 years on the drawing board and 9 months under construction, Comerica's renovation in Heritage Crossing is finally complete.
We're very pleased with this project because honestly it gives us a much better representation in the community. It's really much more convenient for our customers. It really drives to the things that Comerica Bank tries to do for its community and its customers.
It was a major renovation which downsized and updated the building, added a new landscape courtyard, and included Comerica's signature limestone tower. All part of an investment Comerica says Irving deserves.
We have an extremely strong customer base here. The city of Irving is very important to us, so we wanted to have a better representation in the community. That's why we approached this facility, which had really gotten tired in a lot of ways. We wanted to be part of the redevelopment that's occurring here as well. So just all those things seem to line up really well for us, and we're very proud about how it turned out.
We've gotten some overwhelmingly positive responses from our customers. They're very pleased with the look, and also the community members here, both with the city and with the chamber, have been very, very positive.
The interior got a facelift as well. A peek inside reveals a design Comerica describes as more convenient and more private for its South Irving customers. Comerica says this is an overhaul that never could have happened without city and chamber support.
We would never be able to get a project like this even started, let alone completed, without a great partnership from the city. I think all the way through the design and the development and the conceptual part of this project, right through completion of the construction, they had to be key partners with us. Their advice, their guidance really helped us get this thing completed.
What we hope is that other like companies, businesses will see the investment they made here and will follow their suit, come along and see how important it is to be in this part of the city.
There are many other success stories around the city to share. Zayton Mediterranean Grill celebrated its grand opening in Las Colinas. It serves food from Greece, Turkey, and Spain. The experienced restaurant owner says both the Chamber of Commerce and the city of Irving provided him a lot of help.
The city has been very helpful on permits and guiding me to the correct directions and giving me advices on certain things.
Meanwhile, Tex-Mex lovers are happy to see Matitos also open in Las Colinas. The operators of that restaurant also credited the city for a quick opening. If you're planning a picnic or a day at the lake, you may not think much about the ice you use to fill up your cooler. But an Irving man did, and it turned into a successful business. Thomas Gandy reports.
This is what we manufacture right here in Irving, Texas.
It's a new product from Irving based on an old problem.
Ice is being transported the same way it was back in the 1900s.
That means ice is delivered to supermarkets.
They're just making ice in plants on the edge of cities and driving it to the customer. We're changing that whole dynamic.
Within the next 3 or 5 years, we'll change the face of ice in America. Ice will be manufactured in the same place that it's purchased.
At this renovated warehouse Harry Starkweather owned in Las Colinas, he opened the InStore bagging machine company.
The benefits are many. Number one, the ice never freezes and thaws, so you get a much higher quality product. It's a lower cost to the supermarket and a lower cost to the consumer for a much better product.
The employees can make about 5,000 of these baggers a year.
It pushes the ice into the bag, it heat seals the bag, and then drops the bag in the merchandiser all in one location.
This ribbon cutting marks the grand opening. And business people got a tour of the facility to learn more about the product.
We make sure these baggers are tested and retested.
The company moved here to Starkweather's hometown from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, we love Irving. It's an excellent marketplace for trained employees, very high quality. We've hired 30 so far.
All the core people involved in the technology and the business all live in Irving, and it's been a great place.
One of the things that this company is really excited about is they want to make sure that they use as many local suppliers as they possibly can.
Though InStore Bagging Machine Company already had its footing, this is an example of the type of business win that the City of Irving and Chamber of Commerce worked to achieve.
I'm very pleased with the attitude that they have because they try to make it easy for companies to come here. And there's not a lot of bureaucratic nightmare and red tape that happens in so many other cities. And that's one of the strong aspects of Irving that I hear from businesses all the time, that it was so easy working with city staff, that they were able to get their permits, able to get everything done so that they could move in as quickly as possible. And that really does help entice businesses to come to our great city.
This company sees nothing but growth ahead. It expects to have 100 employees within a year.
We'll set up a second line next year for our new product that's coming out in August, which is the mini bagger, which is a bagger that will go into convenience stores as opposed to just a supermarket bagger.
Along with selling the machines through distributors, the company collects royalties on the plastic bags sold to ensure revenue.
I just absolutely love this. There's two things I'm concerned about. One is that I make a great product, and number two is that we make great jobs. Those are key. Everything else, from my point of view, flows from those two things.
The company expects that people across the country will be buying ice that was made in these machines from Irving.
This is the future of ice in America.
Thomas Gandy for InVision Irving.
Now to our special focus. This time around, we're celebrating being a high-scoring city. Sporting events held on fields, fairways, and other venues have a significant economic impact. The biggest is the annual HP Byron Nelson Championship, which draws fans and media from across the country to the Four Seasons Resort in Irving. There are also many smaller events, such as a recent synchronized swimming championship held at the North Lake Natatorium. All the activities add up to a huge victory for our city.
Irving is a popular spot for sports, youth, all the way through the professional sports.
We have all shapes, sizes, and types of events. The HP Byron Nelson, I think we're in our 29th year. We work with the Salesmanship Club of Dallas, and they're just incredible to work with. They take care of the players and try and make them feel at home when they're here. And we try and help the Salesmanship Club in finding proper hotels and all of the facilities that they might need while they're staying here, and it just being the home away from home for the players. People who follow golf and people who come to the tournament tend to spend a little bit more than maybe the people who come for an amateur event. So it is very important. Our restaurants are full. The people eat and drink the whole time they're here. They stay in the nicer hotels as well as the select service hotels. So it really covers a lot for our community here. We also host the media room for the Byron Nelson. It's touted as being one of the best media areas on the tournament.
Sports are really, really important to Irving, and particularly from the hotel business, important because they fill in weekend business for us. A lot of sports activity, when you think about amateur activity and families traveling with kids, that tends to be on the weekends, and that's when our hotels and our restaurants need the business the most. So it's a very big priority for us.
There's so many selling points. The location, either in the country or in the DFW area, we're a prime location. We have so many good facilities here, and our Parks and Rec department is just time and time again touted as being one of the best that they've ever worked with.
Part of it is word of mouth, some of it's soliciting and calling, but many people have heard of us.
Great facilities. We've got a lot of different venues all around the city. Camping trails, the runs that people can do there really, really open themselves up.
A lot of people want to get on Campion trails. They're impressed. They love it. We've been called from other groups that have been in a certain area or trail in another city for years. And they come to us, and it's just an opportunity.
It is an absolute competitive advantage, and it's one of the areas where a lot of the cities have had to cut back. Our Parks and Rec department has, not only have they not cut back on their services, but they've expanded their facilities and their parks and trails, and it's just made it a much easier sell for us.
Facilities like the Equestrian Center here in Irving as well, people almost kind of forget about it because it's tucked away over there at Royal and Riverside, but the Equestrian Center has hosted for a number of years a lot of large-scale horse events, like Carolyn being able to swim there, the natatorium at North Lake College. All of those are really, really great facilities, and the variety of hotels we have around here makes it easy for people to travel and find something that's at a price they want to spend and kind of make a weekend out of it.
Youth sports in particular, those kids are traveling with their parents. A lot of times, because of our economic times, families will choose to use those sporting events as family vacation time. So they're bringing their entire families to the city of Irving.
You're going to spend the night in Irving. You're going to spend your gas money in Irving. You're going to buy food in Irving. That's absolutely plays into the entire picture. Economic impact is key.
When youth sports come with their families, per athlete, the average spend is about $200 a day.
I work so closely with the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau, as well as the hotels, the chamber. I want to make sure that they're aware of what we're bringing in. It may be a small economic impact for a Metroplex run, but people are coming in from outside of town to go to that cause.
Some of the other things that we have here in Irving, you know, we've talked a lot about amateur sports and professional sports. We also are home to the Big 12, and we work with them a lot. We also have the National Football Foundation that's here in Irving.
We're still the home of the Cowboys, so we still have business related to the Cowboys.
The NFL is still alive and well in Irving. I have gone to some trade shows, I've spoken to the travel directors, football ops people, and they are still considering using hotels in Irving. So trying to get in front of that, maintain relationships, build those relationships for the future is essential for what I do.
You'll continue to see more and more sporting events.
It's recession-free business with regards to the impact, like where corporate business would see an impact. This particular market stays pretty steady.
It's a big focus for it. It's almost 20% of what we, the Bureau, expect to book each year. So it'll continue to be more and more important as long as sports and those activities, they're very recession-proof. Families continue to travel with kids even when the economy's weaker. It becomes a vacation. Everybody goes along. So those things are very, very important to us, and that weekend pattern will continue to be very, very important to Irving.
We are considered a sports mecca in a lot of different arenas.
You heard some of them mention the increased traffic at hotels and restaurants, but the money reaches far beyond that. Thomas Gandy visited one South Irving business that sees signs of the economic impact.
Weeks before any tournament golfer swings a club here at the TPC Four Seasons Resort in Las Colinas, action for the HP Byron Nelson Championship is happening here. This is Reynolds Sign in South Irving.
That'll be a scoreboard header. These are like right behind the tee box. These are actually for golf carts. Anything that says anything.
The company produces all of the signs for the event.
It's anything from welcome to the tournament to here's the bathroom.
Various sizes, various materials. Oh gosh, so much.
They don't count exactly how many they make each year, but they know it's a big number.
We're in the thousands of signs because, you know, we do the parking too, so that gets us even further out.
It's a lot.
The company has evolved just as the sports scene has in Irving. Reynolds started in 1986.
Had all the sign rights at Texas Stadium. We built all the signs, then went out and sold them, marketed them for advertising purposes.
Now, golf is the driver, and this member of the Salesmanship Club knows the client's priority is getting recognition for sponsors.
We know what cameras want, what cameras don't want. We know where things get picked up on television and stuff like that.
His work at the Byron Nelson has led to more. The company now produces signs for all of the PGA Tour stops in Texas and some beyond.
AT&T Pebble Beach over in California. This is actually a fabrication that started for the Colonial.
While some signs are reused, this year the Colonial is among those getting an updated look.
So that's a prototype of what we were doing for them. It's not finished yet.
It's a change that brings more business.
Logo changes in the sign industry are good.
Reynolds employs 35 people.
Past couple weeks has been pretty crazy.
This time of year, it's just as fast as we can go.
Sports are the focus of a little more than half his business, but there is plenty more.
We're building retail signage for anything from banks to retail centers. These are advertising kiosks that kind of go all over Texas.
It is a fast-moving operation, whether for retail or sports. Many employees here just hope that not all of the action is focused on the golf at the Byron Nelson.
I hope they look at all of our stuff out there.
They are proud of their work and are happy to show it off when golf fans focus their attention on Irving.
It's a fun time. It's a good time.
Thomas Gandy for InVision Irving.
In some cases, the events are for charity, and some of the city's biggest employers get involved. This year, the Irving campus of Microsoft is host for the Lone Star Ride Fighting AIDS. The kickoff event was at the Irving Convention Center in Las Colinas. Riders will be looking for sponsorships for the 150-mile bike ride, which takes place across the Metroplex in late September. It raises money for local HIV/AIDS service organizations.
It's a really constant reminder that, even though that we have made tons of progress over the years, there are still people that are impacted by it. There's still a lot of education that needs to be out there to make people understand how to get rid of this completely.
It feels really good to be able to, give back, I guess. And like I said, because I'm so connected with it because of my close friends that are affected by it, I feel even more gratified in doing it.
Each day's ride will start and stop at the Microsoft campus in Irving. The city and the Chamber of Commerce are also supporting the ride. While there are a lot of business success stories in Irving, some leaders say obstacles stand in the way of further growth and prosperity. This reception kicked off the One Irving campaign. It's designed to help the city bust through some of those obstacles. The goal is to raise more than $3 million to strengthen and promote schools and develop a culture of empowerment. Organizers believe the money will make a big impact.
This is a project that I personally feel very, very strongly about because I've been here such a long time, and I know that one, that we do have a good school system, and two, that it isn't thought of and it's not perceived to be as fine a school system as it is. We have a good initial backing of the business community here, and we hope to create some excitement and get more people interested in it.
The campaign will last 5 years. While that campaign looks ahead, we also want to take a few minutes to look back. This year, the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce is celebrating its 80th anniversary. So we invited a couple of former chamber board presidents to help us talk about the way things used to be. Ben Thomas led the organization in 1973, Bob Bettis in 1986. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here very much.
Thank you for asking.
Ben, let me begin with you. What year did you arrive in Irving, and kind of describe what business was like then?
Well, long story, I was in World War II, and I was going to be recalled in the Korean War. So I came here, my wife had got herself pregnant, and I was looking for a place to be close to my parents. So I came here to stay a few months. Eisenhower got elected, said if I get women, I would stop the war, so I'm here ever since. There were about 10,000 people here at that time.
And the business climate back then?
Business climate was from here to that wall over there.
Big?
Downtown Irving. Plymouth Park had just begun to build a few houses out there, GI houses. So there were actually two towns. There was an old town and a new town.
How did you get involved with the chamber?
Well, it seemed to be the thing to do. The chamber was so important in those days because we had no money in the city, and there was nobody out there parading our wares. So Bob and I fell into that very early.
Bob, let me ask you kind of the same questions. How did you end up in Irving, and how did you get involved with the chamber?
I came in '64, got married in '64, and graduated from the dental school the same year. My wife and I were both from small towns. She from East Texas and I from West Texas, and we liked the small town atmosphere, but we also wanted to be close to Dallas, the big city. So we looked at a couple of communities. Actually, Greenville and Irving were the two that we looked at because they were both small and close to Dallas at the time, and we chose Irving. Primarily chose it because, I hadn't thought of this, but we rode around with my mother and dad one Sunday was the 4th of July, and we were impressed by the number of American flags that were out in the city. So that's really how we picked Irving over Greenville. Business in Irving was then pretty much mom and pop, small operations, the kind of businesses that support residences, you know, medical offices, barbershops, filling stations, those sorts of things. And we had very little in the way of large businesses. The only one I can think of right offhand is National Chem Search was here, and that was a national business. But most of the tax base at that point was borne on the shoulders of the homeowners. So one of the roles of the chamber at that point was to try to bring in more big businesses, to try to divide and bring the business tax base up.
Ben, what other challenges do you remember from your day with the chamber that you faced?
Well, in my year, for example, the biggest airport in the world landed in our backyard. But I think Bob would tell you too that back in those days we carried the burden of the city. The year I was chairman, we had a budget of only $90,000. Now $90,000 at that time, stock market was about 900 instead of 13,000. But there was no group in the city to go out and sell our city except chamber members. And we paid our own way. And there were several of us went, and we toured New York or whatever needed to be done. Water supplies, we visited the right people. So it was more than just a casual acquaintance that we were serving. It was part of I think it was a basic part of the city because we were the only ones doing it.
Bob, what would you say is the chamber's biggest accomplishment over the past 80 years?
I think probably expanding, as I alluded to a moment ago, helping expand the tax base in the city, bringing in people, making corporations aware of the assets of Irving. Irving really now is an international city, as we all know, and so I think the chamber played a major role in accomplishing that, and consequently, I mentioned that early on the taxes were borne by the homeowner. Now the homeowner pays a relatively small percentage of overall city taxes.
Either one of you or both of you, in closing today, what advice or guidance would you share with the chamber leadership today?
I'll take a shot at it early on. I mentioned that it was small businesses initially that the chamber was composed of. Now that we're an international city, we have those leaders. We have the benefit of leaders from multinational corporations. And so it's always a balancing act to continue to support the small business, but also to be something that is enticing, that brings in the big business. And I think the chamber does a good job of that.
Interesting look back. Gentlemen, thank you for your memories and for your time today. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Of the hundreds of current Irving Chamber members is one that needs your help. I recently visited this nonprofit where employees gain much more than just a paycheck.
Come on another one. Let's go. There you go. All right, we got it. Good job. Very good.
Welcome to what could very well be the happiest workplace in North Texas, where workers are on time, on task, and rarely complain. Welcome to the Citizens Development Center, a workforce of adults with developmental and physical disabilities.
Everyone that comes to work here loves working. They need a purpose in their life, and they express that by their actions. They're all happy for the most part, and they look forward to coming to work and also getting paid every payday, just like the staff.
And they gladly take on tasks most of us would complain about: assembling, labeling, packaging. All in a day's work for people like Sung, a 29-year-old from Irving, or 23-year-old Alexandra, also an Irving resident, or Brian, who has worked here for years.
What do you think you would be doing with your life if you didn't work here?
Sitting around the house, sleep, watch TV, and all that, but I started working here in 2006 and everything.
Gilbert has worked here even longer and looks forward to clocking in every day.
Why do you like it here?
Make money and good money.
What else do you like about it other than the money that you make?
Friends here, and my supervisors. Yeah, I like
people?
Good people.
They're dependable. They're excited about getting a paycheck. They're not just sitting at home, and a lot of them are trustworthy. And when they really love, as they say, they love for real, and you see the human side of them.
And while there's no shortage of workers, there can sometimes be a shortage of work to keep them busy. That's why the Citizens Development Center wants Irving business leaders to know that these employees stand ready to do their repetitive tasks for them.
You know, one of our biggest challenges is to have enough work for the work center. And a lot of times people that send us that work are hesitant about the type of work and the quality of work that we can provide. What they don't understand is that the people that work here have no other distractions in their life. They don't worry about the bills that have to be paid at home. They don't worry about who's cooking supper tonight. The only thing that they have to be concerned with when they come here is to get the job and focus on the job that they have at hand and in front of them. Because of that, they're probably some of the most dedicated people that you'll find.
This work center is actually located in Dallas. So why are they proud members of the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce?
We're a member of the Irving Chamber because the Irving Chamber seems to be one of the most aggressive, the most active chambers in the Metroplex. Sometimes you get lost in the larger chambers, and there's a more personal touch with the Irving Chamber.
A personal touch the Citizens Development Center hopes will lead to even more job opportunities for a very happy workplace.
The Citizens Development Center can always use donors and volunteers. To learn more or to arrange a tour, you can go to the website citizensdevelopmentcenter.org. Also, mark your calendar for the center's Dash for Dignity. That's an annual fundraiser held in September right here in Las Colinas. Time now for our good deeds. A corporate donor helped bring about some needed renovations to the Irving Family YMCA. Here's Rebecca Combs.
For more than 50 years, Irving residents have walked through the front doors, but now they will see some changes.
We have a long hallway down here that's had tile and 2 or 3 generations of tile laid on top of it. So we've been able to get all of that removed and put some real nice carpet down. The old Welcome Center was very antiquated, so that was removed and taken out and replaced with something that certainly is much more hip and fresh.
They also replaced the ceiling tiles, installed energy-efficient light bulbs, and redid the flooring in the aerobics room. And so far, the renovations have been a hit.
It's been a big hit for all of our members and everything to see such a huge change in such a short time.
Everybody likes to go to a nice, fresh facility to work out or to drop their children off.
The renovations has made this more welcoming, it's more facilitating, it lends to the environment that is so supportive of the activities that we do here.
Joshua is a part of the senior citizens group that meets at the Irving YMCA every morning, so he understands the importance of what the YMCA represents.
This is an institution that has been of long standing.
We've had a lot of folks over the years that have probably stepped away from the Y just because it wasn't changing with the times. So I think for the community to see the changes and see the direction we're going, I think is going to help us impact more families.
The renovations are very important, but so is the celebration with the Irving community.
Oh, I think it's critically important to celebrate all of these renovations. There's been a lot of work by a lot of people, and this is just a nice way to say thank you. And Irving, come check out your new YMCA.
Rebecca Combs for InVision Irving.
Members of the Chamber's Leadership Irving Las Colinas class got their hands dirty for a good cause. More than a dozen people turned out to help beautify Mountain Creek Preserve. It was an event coordinated by Keep Irving Beautiful. Some of the volunteers picked up trash, and they found a lot of it, nearly 2 tons. Another crew painted pavilions that overlook the West Fork of the Trinity River. All the participants were happy to make a difference.
Honestly, I mean, I felt humble. Actually, I think about those that do this for a living. I think about people that, without thinking, discard trash. And I was guilty of that in the past. After doing this, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, this is the only earth we have, and so we have to preserve it, not only for us to enjoy, but for generations to come.
The volunteers are doing a great job. Love working with them, and excited that they chose Keep Irving Beautiful to partner with this year.
An earlier cleanup targeted trash at Trinity View Park. Thanks for watching this edition of InVision Irving. Remember, you can see updates on upcoming events by visiting irvingchamber.com. I'm Jolene DeVito. See you next time.